Hi guys, it's me, Rusty in Central Texas, and surprisingly, I just got back from my morning walk, which I do every day. And what was the name of that movie? Groundhog Days, where the same thing kept happening over and over and over and over. Well, I'm kind of in the Groundhog Days, except for a few little things. I got my green tea and my dark chocolate almonds, and anyway, I think I may have mentioned in a previous video, maybe I didn't. Oh, this is I'm not sure. I think it's May the 20th. I'm not sure. Yep, it's May the 20th. Friday, May 20th, 2016. And you get old and retired, you don't even know what day it is. But anyway, I got a tasting event today for Drylands Chardonnay. It's a New Zealand white wine. I'll tell you more about it when I get to the store. I'll do a little short video. Anyway, uh, yesterday, for some reason, well, there was a thunderstorm in the area, and of course, my internet service went out again. And they told me they couldn't get a serviceman out here until Monday, which doesn't surprise me. And so, anyway, I looked at my options and decided that I had to use Cricket Wireless as a mobile hotspot. Okay, because I've done that before and it seems to work okay. And so they have a plan that is 10 gigabytes, unlimited talk, text, all that stuff. And after you use your 10 gigabytes of 4G LTE data, then it's throttled. The speed goes down to 3G, which you can still stream Pandora. You can still access the internet, your email, do your banking, and all that stuff. The only thing you're really limited in is that you cannot. Well, you certainly couldn't stream HD video. Now, whether you can stream 480, I'm not sure. I'm going to try it because if it works, then I've got basically unlimited internet for and phone for $65 a month as opposed to 100 for both. So anyway, it's cool here this morning. See my power windows? Not many houses have windows like that, folks. This is an RV, obviously, and I like these windows better than the ones with the little cranks. And the reason is the little cranks always wear out, and you got to buy a new window to fix it. That's it. So anyway, so I'm trying Cricket Wireless. It works okay so far. We'll see what happens after I use my 10 gigabytes. You can't beat the deal, though. I'm telling you. I mean, for 10 gigabytes, unlimited talk, text, the grand total with the hotspot feature, which they charge you $10 for, the total is $70, and then you get $5 off if you have auto pay set up. So for $65 a month, I may have, hopefully, unlimited everything. Unlimited talk and text to me means, I text maybe 10 times a month, if that. And as far as talking on the phone, of course, I talk to my sister on Sundays for an hour or so. So that's 250 minutes a month, or say 300 tops. And then I talk to my son occasionally. So I might use 1,000 minutes a month. So, they're making money off of me. But other than that, folks, the temperature today, right now it's about 62. It was about 58 when I got up. Dead calm, overcast. No rain in the forecast, though. We've had a little rain. We had about an inch last week, which is not bad. And, these are what you call reality videos. Yo, uh, isn't that something? I try to come up with something really, quote, interesting. I don't lead a really exciting life, as you can tell. you know, Going to drive a 2016 Prius was a big outing for me. I want you to know that. Oh, this picture up here, you probably wondered what that is. I lived on a farm in Kennedy, Texas. That's where I grew up, on a little farm in Kennedy, Texas. We raised all kind of crops. We had cotton, corn, maize, flax, and other things that we grew. We also, we were completely off the grid, so to speak. We didn't have a TV till I was like 12 and or more. In the middle 50s, somewhere in there, we got a TV that weighed about 400 pounds. But anyway, this guy right here, his name is Andreas. Andreas was my friend. And I may have mentioned about him before somewhere in some of my videos, probably have. But that's who that picture is. He worked for our family for. He even worked for my grandfather for a while, but he worked on our farm forever. He was an illegal, and he lived in what was called a Quonset hut, which is a little, was an old military cheap building. It had thin little plywood walls, about it might have been half-inch, but I doubt it. It might have been, and had a fireplace in the center, went up through the middle, an old pot-bellied iron stove. That was his source of heat. And his furnishings inside there, he had a cot, a military cot for a bed with a military blanket, wool blanket. And he had one little desk with a chair and had one little drawer because I used to go check it out. He didn't have a lock on his door. And the only thing he had in there was tobacco. I don't think he ever, he apparently had a son in Mexico, but I don't know. But anyway, I used to go to the back door of the house. He lived about 100 yards, maybe 50, say 50 yards from the main house, so to speak. And anyway, I'd go to the back door in the mornings, open the screen door and say, Andreas, your breakfast is ready. And, 10 minutes later, he'd come walking through the back door. And even though we didn't drink coffee, my mother was a Mormon, uh, she always made a cup of coffee for him. She did. He had his coffee in the morning with his breakfast. He had the same breakfast we had. Whatever we were having, he had. And he ate after we did, or did he? Yeah, he did. He ate after we did. And he took care of all the animals. We had probably 100 head of hogs and, I don't know, 20 or 30 chickens. We might have had, up near the house, we probably had 4 or 5 cows. And then down in the other field, we had maybe 40 or 50 cows, cattle. And, but anyway, he took care of all that. And he was my friend because from age, I was the youngest. There was 4 children. I've got an older brother who's dead, an older sister who was 6 years older than I was, and another sister 4 years older than I was. The 2 sisters are still alive, and obviously I'm still here. And but anyway, when I was 2, all my brothers and sisters were in school, so I was out there in the middle of the country by myself. Had to be pretty creative, and I was. I had a lot of fun. Had a little military army men about this high that I used to play in the sand with. Entertained myself all day long. And anyway, he was my buddy because he had an old Model T pickup, and every now and then he'd go down and get stumps out of the field to use for firewood, and I'd go with him. I'd ride in that old rattle trap truck down in the field with him, and anyway, he spoke good English. But my dad talked to him in Spanish. My dad was fluent in Spanish, and so they would converse in Spanish, but he could speak pretty good English. But anyway, we'd go down and gather stumps. Anyway, one day we were down there gathering stumps, and he said he had to go take a shit. Well, I guess I was probably maybe 4 at that time, and I didn't know what the word shit meant. So I watched him. Okay, and then I found out what shit. When somebody said they had to go take shit, they had to go poo poo. So anyway, later on that day, I got back to the house, and I had the brilliant idea to tell my mother that I had to go take a shit. Well, guess what, folks? That word didn't fly well inside the household, I promise you. And anyway, I got in a little trouble for that. I learned that there's a time to say it and there's a time not to say it. But anyway, that was my beginning, and that's where I kept that picture. That's the only picture ever taken of him that we have, and I got it. And there he is in his little pantaloon looking things. That's all he wore all the time. I think he probably had a change of clothes and that's it. And anyway, he was just a good friend of mine. And anyway, when I was age oh, I guess it was probably 10. One morning I went to the back door and said, Andreas, your breakfast ready. And anyway, he didn't show up. So my mother said, go out and check on him. Maybe he didn't hear you. So I did. I went up to his little Quonset hut and went in, and he was still laying in bed. And I walked up there and got real close, and it didn't take a mental giant to tell me that that man was dead. First dead human I ever seen in my life. I mean, I just stood there and looked at him. He was dead. He'd had a heart attack during the night, apparently, and passed away peacefully in his sleep, which was justified in his case because he was just a good guy. I mean, I'm telling you, the guy. Oh, he cussed every now and then, but he sure was my friend. But anyway, that's why I kept the picture up there, and that's what that's all about. But old Andreas, what a guy, man, what a guy. But anyway, I went back to the house, told my mother that I said I think Andreas is dead, and so anyway, my dad and my mother went out and checked. Sure enough, they agreed he was dead, and so called the. He had to have a justice of peace come out and pronounce the guy dead, which they did. And anyway, because he didn't have any assets of any kind, and my dad was kind of a, I guess you'd say, a semi-big shot in our little town. The county took care of burying him for free, and I remember at the funeral it was just us and a few Mexican friends. He used to go into town on Saturdays and Sundays sometime, most time on Saturdays. And Daddy gave him a little money every week. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't much, but he got room and board, and I don't know, a little money every week. He'd go to town, have him a few beers, and he'd buy him a little half pint of whiskey and bring it home, put it in his drawer, because I used to sneak in there and take a shot of it every now and then, and then I couldn't stand it. But anyway, that's the story of that picture, and that's the story of the Cricket Wireless. So anyway, you guys enjoy your day. This has been about a 12-minute video, which is okay. I don't mind the length, whether it's short, long, whatever. When I get through talking, I'm through. I have no agenda at all. Just so for those of you that unfortunately or fortunately subscribe to this channel and you wonder what it's all about, so do I. I mean, there is no about. I mean, you're getting sort of a diary of my life, one day at a time, or a spoonful at a time, however you want to look at it. And that's going to be it because, I'm just not going to go to all the whatever I do, if I do something that might be, a little more interesting, I'll certainly do a video of it. But by and large, this will probably be about it. So hopefully, if you have comments, leave them. I'll respond to them. I always do. And anyway, enjoy your day. Thumbs up. Carpe diem. And adios, amigos. Bye, 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 bye. That's not right. Bye, 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 bye. Chief say bye. Why do I do that? I'll tell you. The reason I do that is there's a joke about that somewhere in my videos. I think I did a deal on the Colorado River, and in there I tell you why I do that. There's a joke about bye bye. Anyway, adios.